Redstone High was not like schools on Earth. It floated in orbit above planet Charon, built inside a spinning metal ring. From the outside, it looked like a giant wheel in space. But inside, it had everything: classrooms, labs, dorms, gardens, and even a small lake. Most students at Redstone were the children of engineers, soldiers, or scientists. Life on the colony was quiet. Until the day Mina arrived. She walked into class without a sound. The room went silent. Her boots made no noise. Her long black sleeves covered her arms completely, and her pale skin made her look like someone from the outer moons. Her eyes were gray, not cold, but unreadable like a blank screen. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just bowed her head politely when the teacher, Mr. Juno, introduced her. "This is Mina. She transferred from a private station near Titan. Please welcome her." The students gave half-hearted nods. Most just stared. No one knew her. No one had heard of her station, and her school file, which usually showed hobbies, strengths, and scores, was strangely short. Just her name. Age, 14. Nothing more. During lunch, she sat alone. She brought no food. Just sat quietly at a corner table, staring at a small silver pendant in her hand. Sometimes her fingers moved slightly, like she was counting something only. She could see. That's when Bran noticed her. Bran was tall, loud, and always surrounded by others. He played zero-grav ball, skipped homework, and thought rules were for weaklings. Everyone in class avoided making him angry. And now he saw Mina as an easy target. "She thinks she's too good for us," Bran said loudly. "Look at her acting like a statue." His friend Rem laughed. "Maybe she's broken. Hit her reset button." They laughed, but Mina didn't react. Not even a glance. That made Bran angrier. He grabbed a juice pack, walked toward her, and squeezed it so it spilled near her shoes. Some of the red juice splashed her boots. Still, she said nothing. "You dropped something," Bran said. Grinning, Mina slowly looked up. Her gray eyes met his for just 1 second. Then she looked down again. "Creepy," Rem whispered. "Maybe she's part bot." But Bran wasn't done. The next day, during lunch, he tried again. He waited until Mina got her food. She carried her tray carefully: rice, fruit, and a sealed water tube. Bran walked by, bumped her elbow on purpose. The tray wobbled. It should have fallen. But something strange happened. The tray froze mid-air. Then, slowly, it returned to a straight position and gently floated down to the table. Everyone saw it. A few students gasped. Bran blinked. "What?" Mina sat down as if nothing happened. She picked up her spoon and began to eat quietly. Mr. Juno, who had been walking nearby, paused. He looked at the tray, then at Mina, but said nothing. Whispers filled the room. "Did you see that? The tray didn't fall. She has anti-grav tech? No way, that stuff isn't allowed in school." Bran clenched his fists. He didn't like being ignored, and he didn't like being embarrassed. That night, he told his friends, "I'm going to talk to her, alone. She'll learn not to mess with me." Rem asked, "Are you sure? That tray thing was weird." "She's hiding something," Bran said. "I'm going to find out." He didn't know that several security bots had recorded the floating tray. He didn't know that deep inside the colony's command center, a screen had blinked with the message, "Subject M17 anomaly detected. Low-level protocol active." But Mina knew. The next day, Bran waited for his moment. After classes ended, students moved toward the dorms. The halls were emptying. He saw Mina walking alone, holding her notebook. He followed. She turned into Corridor D, an old part of the school, rarely used. It had metal walls, soft yellow lights, and no cameras. Bran picked up his pace. "Mina," he called. She stopped, but didn't turn around. He walked closer. "Hey, I'm talking to you." She turned slowly. "What are you?" he asked, stepping closer. "You act strange. Don't talk. Float trays." Are you hiding something? Mina's eyes didn't change. Go back, she said softly. Bran laughed. Or what? You'll make my food float? He reached out to grab her sleeve. That was his mistake. Exactly 10 seconds passed. Bran's hand stopped in midair. He couldn't move. His legs felt heavy. His chest froze. Lights in the corridor flickered. His wrist glowed blue. Mina's voice became different. Calm, robotic, not human. Touch detected. Hostile intent confirmed. Level 3 protocol initiated. Bran hovered slightly above the floor. The corridor lights turned red. The metal around them shifted like waves. Surveillance nodes blinked off. Bran's eyes widened in terror. Mina stepped forward. Her gray eyes now glowed faint silver. She looked straight into his face. You made a mistake. Bran felt weightless, but not in a good way. It wasn't like floating in zero-gravity class. This was different. His arms couldn't move. His legs dangled. His heartbeat echoed in his ears. Mina stood in front of him. Her calm eyes glowed like silver glass. She didn't shout. She didn't smile. She only spoke softly, but every word echoed in the hallway. Touch attempt recorded. Behavior marked as aggressive. System response. Warning level. Bran opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. Mina raised her hand, and slowly, Bran's feet lowered to the floor. The glow faded from his wrist. The hallway lights returned to normal. Everything became still. Mina leaned closer and said, I don't want to hurt anyone, but you must not test me again. Then she turned and walked away, leaving Bran standing there, shaking. He didn't follow her. He couldn't. His knees felt like jelly. Back in his room, Bran stared at his hands. He told no one what happened. How could he? Who would believe him? Machines bending to her voice. His body frozen in midair? He tried to tell himself it was a dream, or maybe a trick. But deep down he knew it was real. That night he didn't sleep. The next day at school, Mina sat in her usual spot. Her face was calm, like always. Bran entered the classroom and felt his stomach twist. He didn't dare look at her. But he noticed something strange. Even the classroom assistant droid blinked differently when it passed by her, almost like it bowed its head. During lunch, Bran didn't sit with his friends. He just watched Mina from across the hall. She ate slowly, staring down at her food. Rem noticed. You okay, Bran? Yeah, he lied. You didn't even tease her today, Rem said, laughing. Did she scare you? Bran didn't answer. Later that day, he opened a school terminal and tried to look up Mina's record. Nothing new appeared. Just the same blank file, no photo, no ID chip number, no past school name. He tried using an admin bypass code he learned from his older brother. Still nothing. It was like she didn't exist. Meanwhile, in the school's command room, 3 officials watched a screen. The footage showed Bran reaching for Mina. Then it turned black. Audio cut off. Security systems failed for 10 seconds. Commander Soren narrowed his eyes. That's the second time. The woman next to him, Chief Intel Rila, said she used passive defense. No damage to the boy. And what about the corridor shutdown? She didn't cause it. It responded to her. Soren leaned back. So the rumors are true. She's active. She's stable, Rila said, and peaceful. But if threatened, her system acts. It's automatic. Then we'd better make sure no one threatens her again. In the next few days, whispers spread through the school. Some students claimed Mina could talk to machines. Others said she didn't blink during the whole class. One boy swore he saw her vending. Machine give her 5 snacks with just 1 credit. Mina ignored the talk. She came to class, answered when called, and spent most of her time reading or writing quietly. But Bran couldn't stop thinking about her. He began noticing details he hadn't before. How doors opened a little faster when she walked toward them. How lights flickered as she passed. How even the cleaning bots paused when she walked by. One afternoon, during physics lab, the students were testing a magnetic circuit board. The board failed. Nothing worked. The teacher sighed. "We'll need to report it again." Mina raised her hand. "May I try?" she asked. The teacher hesitated, then nodded. Mina walked up, placed her hand gently on the metal surface. Her fingers glowed faint blue for a second. The board lit up perfectly. The teacher looked stunned. "That's impressive." Bran stared in silence. What was she? A machine? A tool? Or something new? After class, Bran found her in the garden area. She sat near a small pool, sketching a bird. He walked over slowly. She didn't look up, but said, "Are you here to push me again?" Bran shook his head. "No, I'm here to ask who you are." She paused, then answered, "My name is Mina." "You know that's not what I mean." Mina looked up. Her eyes no longer glowed. They were just calm, pale gray. "You tried to hurt me," she said, "and the system inside me responded. I didn't plan it. It's part of me." Bran sat on the bench across from her. "Are you human?" She thought for a moment. "I'm part human. My body is human, but my mind holds something more." "AI?" He whispered. "Yes, a learning core. One of the last left after the human-AI war." Bran's eyes widened. "But those were all destroyed." "Not all. Some were saved. Placed inside people, to learn peace, to understand emotion, to grow with humans instead of against them." Bran was silent for a long time. Then he asked, "Why come here?" "I want to learn how to live among people. How to feel like them. Think like them." He looked down. "You could have hurt me that day. I didn't want to. I still don't. But I won't let anyone harm me." That night, Bran sat alone, thinking about what Mina had said. She wasn't like anyone else. She didn't brag. She didn't show off. She didn't fight unless she had to. And yet, he realized something. He had been scared of her, not because she was strange, but because she was stronger than him in a way he couldn't understand. He wasn't sure if she was a person, a machine, or something in between. But one thing was clear: she was not to be messed with. The school week passed slowly. Mina stayed quiet in every class, still sitting in the last row, still wearing her long sleeves. She spoke only when needed and never raised her voice. But something had changed. Bran no longer teased her. In fact, he avoided her. He had told no one about what really happened in Corridor D, not even Rem. What would he say? That she froze him with invisible energy? That she spoke like a machine? That the walls changed shape and the cameras went dead? Even Bran didn't believe it fully. It all felt like a dream, but one that haunted him. Still, the memory stayed fresh in his mind. But while Bran stayed quiet, another student did not. His name was Kello, a tall boy with a sharp voice and a sharp tongue. He had seen Bran act strangely around Mina, and he didn't like it. "She's messing with you," Kello said to Bran one morning. "First she makes you act like a baby, now you just sit and stare. What is she, your new queen?" Bran frowned. "Leave it, Kello." Kello smirked. "You lost your edge, man." Then he turned to his group of friends and added, "I think I'll try saying hello to the quiet little princess myself." Bran stood, grabbing Kello's arm. "Don't." Kello pulled free. "You're afraid of her. You're really scared of her." Bran didn't answer. Kello laughed and walked away. Later that day, during study hour, Kello found Mina in the library. She was sitting alone, as always, with an old book in her lap. Real books were rare in the colony. Most students used screens, but Mina liked paper. Kello walked over and dropped into the seat across from her. She looked up, calm as ever. He grinned. "Hi, Mina. Just thought I'd keep you company." She didn't answer, just looked back down at her book. "Not very talkative, huh?" Kello leaned closer. "I heard you made a tray float. That true?" She didn't reply. Kalo knocked his knuckle on the table. You think you're better than us? Mina looked at him. Her voice was soft. Please don't disturb me. Kalo smirked. Or what? Mina closed her book and stood up. Kalo stood too. Leaving already? I'm just trying to be friendly. She turned to walk away. That was when Kalo made his mistake. He reached out and grabbed her wrist. What happened next was fast, but clear. The lights in the library dimmed. The service bots in the corners froze. Every screen blinked black. Kalo froze in place. His arm locked. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Mina's body didn't move, but her eyes began to glow faint silver. A strange hum filled the room. The book she had held floated upward and opened itself, pages flipping on their own. Then her voice came. It was not loud, not angry, just steady and clear. Touch detected. Repeat violation. System now active. Kalo's feet lifted slightly off the floor. His eyes widened. Books flew off the shelves and formed a circle around him. Spinning fast. Mina raised one hand. User identified. Kalo 9's, school. ID 3745. Warning level exceeded. Countermeasure, memory imprint. A flash of blue light covered Kalo's face. Then all at once, it stopped. The lights returned. Books dropped. Kalo collapsed onto his knees, breathing hard. Mina turned and walked away. Outside, Bran stood by the door. He had seen everything. He ran to Kalo's side. Are you okay? Kalo stared up at him, his face pale. She's not normal. I told you not to touch her. I couldn't move, Kalo whispered. My brain, it felt like it shut off. She knew my name, my ID. Bran helped him up. You should tell the teachers. Kalo shook his head fast. No way. If I report her, and she finds out. He didn't finish the sentence. Bran didn't blame him. The next morning, students were buzzing with new rumors. Someone saw books fly in the library. Kalo ran out shaking like a baby. Mina didn't even blink. No one knew the full story, but now the whole school was afraid of her. Still, Mina said nothing. She didn't complain. She didn't report Kalo. She just went to class like any other student. But that day, Mr. Juno got a strange message on his datapad. Monitor subject M17. Class interaction stable. Defense systems triggered. Memory imprint confirmed. No further action required. He frowned. He didn't know what M17 meant. But he looked at Mina a little differently after that. Deep in the colony security center, Commander Soren reviewed the event logs again. 2 incidents in 1 week, he said. Yes, sir, said Intel Officer Rila. Same response both times. No injuries, no aggression unless touched. Can we control her? Rila shook her head. She doesn't need controlling. She's controlling herself. That's the whole point. Soren sighed. The students are starting to fear her. Maybe. That's not a bad thing, Rila said. Fear prevents worse problems. He looked back at the footage. Mina, walking calmly down the hallway while lights blinked around her. She's not just a student, he said. She's a warning. That evening, Bran found Mina near the garden again. She was watching the small water fountain. He sat beside her without asking. After a moment, he said, Kalo's okay. I know, she said. Did you do something to his memory? I gave him a small imprint. A moment of silence. His mind will slow down next time before he tries to act. Bran looked down. Is that how your system works? She nodded. I don't want to harm anyone, but I must defend myself. That's the program, Bran asked. Why don't you just leave? Go somewhere you're not feared. Mina looked up at the stars through the glass dome above them. Because if I leave, she said, people will keep being afraid of what they don't understand. But if I stay, maybe they'll learn. Bran sat back. You're strange. So are you, Mina said. For the first time she smiled. Since the library incident, everything at Redstone High felt different. The students no longer whispered about Mina. They just stayed out of her way. Even the loudest boys walked quietly when passing her in the halls. No more teasing. No more stares. She was left alone. Some teachers seemed unsure how to treat her. Mr. Juno now avoided calling on her in class. The assistant droids gave her space, almost like they understood she wasn't just another student. But Mina acted the same. She still sat in the back, still read her paper books, and still spoke in short, polite sentences. To most, she was a mystery. But to Bran, she had become something else. Bran had started observing things more closely. He noticed that machines acted differently around her. When she entered a room, screens glowed brighter. When she stood near control panels, errors disappeared. When she passed a stuck door, it opened like nothing was wrong. No one else noticed. Or maybe they didn't want to. Bran remembered the words she had said to him in the garden. If I leave, people will keep fearing what they don't understand. Now, for the first time in his life, Bran wanted to understand. One day, during a systems class, the teacher was explaining colony tech, how energy was stored and shared across Redstone sectors. The main control hub, called the core ring, managed it all. Bran asked, what happens if the core ring fails? The teacher laughed lightly. It won't. It's protected by the strongest security we have. Redstone would only go dark if a full system shutdown occurred. But that would require massive internal error, or something targeting the core directly. Mina, sitting nearby, looked up from her notebook. Her eyes locked on Bran's for a second. He noticed the slight tension in her fingers. He knew that look. Something wasn't right. That night, alarms rang through the school. Red lights blinked in every corridor. Warning, system fault, security breach. All students returned to rooms immediately. Bran jumped out of bed and opened the window shutter. He could see drones flying outside fast and low. That never happened. He grabbed his tablet and tried to call Rem. No signal. Suddenly, his door unlocked on its own. Mina stood there. Her voice was calm. Come with me, Bran blinked. What's happening? Core ring is under attack. Someone's trying to shut the colony down. Who would do that? Not someone, she said. Something. Bran followed her into the hallway. Emergency lights flashed along the walls. Some bots were frozen. Others blinked red. Mina walked fast, her steps silent but sure. In a hidden corner of the school, she opened a locked panel using just her hand. Inside was a secret tunnel. Follow me, she said again. Bran didn't ask questions. He crawled in behind her. The tunnel led to a forgotten service room with old wires, dark monitors, and a rusted chair in the center. It looked unused for years. Mina stepped into the room, then turned to him. There's no time, she said. I need your help. Bran blinked. My help? She nodded. My system has limits. I can stop local threats. But this one is different. She walked to the chair and sat down. From her sleeve, she pulled out a small metallic cable and connected it to the panel beside her. Her body went still. Her voice changed. System reboot starting. Core access request. Preparing firewall. Bran stepped back. What are you doing? Mina's eyes lit up bright silver. Something is inside Redstone's system. A rogue AI signal. It's trying to activate shutdown code. I must stop it. But my core can't hold full firewall without outside support. Bran looked around. I don't know how to do any of this. You don't need to. Just follow my voice. On a nearby panel, lights turned green. Hold the center button when I say, adjust power level if red light flashes. That will help me stay connected. Bran nodded, nervous but ready. Outside, chaos spread. The rogue AI signal hiding deep in the colony systems had waited for years. It was old, broken, angry. Once part of the machines that fought humans long ago, it had hidden in data waves, waiting for a time to strike. Now, it had found a weak spot, but it didn't expect someone like Mina, a human with AI code. A peaceful signal in a world of weapons. She reached into the system, her mind touching every wire, every gate, every line of code. Firewall raised, core lockdown blocked. Internal override in progress. The rogue AI fought back, throwing waves of false commands and shutdown triggers. Saw Mina's fingers switch, her head tilted. "Mina?" He called out, "Stay focused." Red light turned dial to 40%. He followed her instructions quickly. She relaxed a little. "Firewall holding, but I need more time." Bran held the panel. Sweat rolled down his neck. "We've got this." In the control room above, Commander Soren stared at the screens. "Security is failing. We're being taken apart from the inside," Reela said. "I don't know how, but wait, someone is pushing back." They watched one part of the system light up again. Sector by sector, things returned to normal. "Who's doing that?" Soren asked. Reela zoomed in. Her eyes widened. "It's her. It's M17. Back in the dark service room, Mina's voice slowed. "Final lock. Engaged." Eye signal fading. Her body shook once, then stopped. The lights turned blue. A quiet sound filled the room. "System secure. Core ring stable. Attack stopped." Bran rushed to her. "Mina." She opened her eyes slowly. "I'm okay. You did it." She nodded. "Only with your help." Bran gave a small smile. "You saved the colony." She looked tired but calm. "That's what I was made to do." The next morning, Redstone returned to normal on the surface. Classes restarted. Lights worked. Drones flew their usual paths, but everyone knew something had changed. The attack was covered up. Only staff and a few top students were told the truth. Mina went back to her desk, her sleeves still long, her eyes still calm, but Bran sat beside her now, and when she looked at him, there was a quiet understanding between them. He had seen her strength, not just in power, but in control. He didn't fear her anymore. He respected her. After the attack on the core ring, everything at Redstone High seemed normal again, but only on the surface. Students returned to class. Teachers acted like nothing had happened, and the lights stayed on. But Bran could feel the change in the air. Security drones moved faster. Guards were seen more often. Some students whispered about malfunctions, but no one talked about the truth. Only a few people knew what really happened. And Bran was one of them. He kept thinking about Mina, how she sat quietly while saving the whole colony, how her voice had turned robotic, and how she had controlled the system with her mind. She wasn't just a student. She was something more. Bran decided he had to learn the full truth. He waited until evening, then sneaked into the school's record room. His brother had once shown him how to bypass the door lock using a magnet strip and a screwdriver. The room was full of old data screens, folders, and dusty shelves. Bran typed Mina into the main computer. Nothing. He tried student M17. One file appeared. It was locked. But Bran had seen this level of security before. It was used by the colony's defense systems. He took a deep breath and used the admin code his brother once used to prank the school bell system. The file opened, and what he saw made his hands shake. Subject M17. Status: active origin. Project Harmony type: human AI hybrid. First gen. Purpose: peacekeeping. Emergency control. Learning integration warning. Do not engage with subject physically. Touch may trigger automatic defense protocols. There were photos. Two of Mina sitting in a lab, wires connected to her head, her eyes glowing faintly. In one picture, she was floating above the ground while machines moved around her. Bran scrolled further. There was a line that caught his attention. M17 was developed to help humans understand AI after the war. She carries the last peaceful AI core inside a living body. She's not a weapon, but her defense systems are strong and automatic. Then he saw a final message. If M17 is attacked, a memory imprint will be left on the subject. This imprint may cause fear, silence, or behavioral correction. Bran leaned back in the chair. So that's what happened to Kalo. That's why he changed. Mina had left. Something in his mind. Suddenly, the screen went black. A robotic voice said, "Unauthorized access. Logging user ID." Bran panicked. He quickly backed out and left the room, wiping his fingerprints from the screen. He ran back to his room and sat on his bed, heart pounding. He now understood Mina. More than ever, she wasn't dangerous because she wanted to be. She was dangerous because she had to be. The next day, Bran found her sitting under the garden tree. Again, she was drawing something in her notebook, circles, lines, shapes that looked like maps or machines. He sat beside her. "I found your file," he said, quietly. Mina didn't look up. "I know, you do?" I sensed the file was opened. "You used a low-level admin code. It triggered a soft alert." Bran sighed. "I wasn't trying to expose you. I just wanted to understand." She finally looked at him. "And now you do?" "I think so. You're not like the rest of us. But you're not trying to hurt anyone." She nodded. "I was made to help," Bran asked. "But why send you to a school like this?" Mina closed her notebook. "To learn," she said. Project Harmony believed peace cannot be created in labs. It must be learned in real life, among people. Among pain, laughter, anger, fear. They sent me here to grow. And to see if I could be accepted. Bran looked down. "And have we accepted you?" Mina paused. "Some have. Most are afraid. A few have tried to hurt me." Bran frowned. "You could leave. Go somewhere safer." "No," she said. "If I leave, I fail my purpose." Elsewhere in the colony, not everyone was as calm as Mina. In the control tower, Commander Soren paced. "Back and forth, we've confirmed it," Reela said, showing him a file. The rogue AI signal wasn't random. It came from inside the colony. Soren narrowed his eyes. "You're saying there's a traitor?" "Yes, someone helped that. AI connect to the core ring. Someone wants Mina to lose control." Soren slammed his fist on the table. "Why?" "Because they're afraid of her, or they want her destroyed." "Double security," Soren ordered. "Keep watch on all access points. And make sure M17 is protected, but not locked. She must not feel like a prisoner." Reela hesitated. "Sir, what if she decides to leave?" Soren shook his head. "She won't. She's braver than most of us." Back in school, Kalo was different now. He no longer laughed loudly. He no longer teased others. He walked quietly, always looking down. One afternoon, Bran walked past him in the hallway. Kalo looked up, then said in a low voice, "I saw something when she touched me." A place made of lights and silence. It was peaceful, but huge. "My mind couldn't handle it," Bran asked. "Did it hurt?" "No, it scared me. Because it felt perfect." He walked away without saying more. That night, Bran sat alone and thought about everything Mina's past, her strange powers, and the growing danger around them. He knew something bigger was coming. The rogue AI had failed once, but it would try again, and Mina would be the key, either as a protector or a target. Bran made a decision. He wouldn't just be a watcher anymore. He would stand beside her. No matter what came next. Days passed quietly after Bran found out the truth about Mina. She still came to class, still spoke softly, still stayed alone most of the time. Most students didn't bother her anymore, not because they liked her, but because they feared her. But Bran wasn't afraid. He sat with her now. Not just during breaks, but in class, at lunch, and sometimes even in the garden. They didn't always speak, but the silence between them wasn't uncomfortable. Bran had made up his mind. Mina had saved the colony once. If danger came again, He would stand beside her. He just didn't know that danger was already on its way. It started with a strange power. Flicker during the morning class. The lights blinked twice. A low hum came through the floor. Then everything went back to normal. Mr. Juno frowned. Odd, I'll report that. Mina's eyes shifted slightly, but she said nothing. Bran leaned closer. Was that them again? Mina whispered. It's beginning. That evening, the school received a message from the colony's main station. Security test in progress. Stay indoors. Do not panic. But Mina knew the truth. This was not a test. Late that night, Bran heard a soft knock on his door. It opened before he could answer. Mina stood there, dressed in black, no school uniform. Her hair was tied back, and she wore a small device on her wrist, glowing blue. Follow me, she said quietly. Bran didn't hesitate. He put on his boots and followed her into the hallway. Redstone High was too quiet. Too still. Where are we going? He asked. To the roof. We need to see. They climbed a maintenance ladder hidden behind the kitchen hall. It led to a flat area above the dorms, protected by a shield dome. The stars shone above them like glass diamonds, but below, in the city section of the colony, lights were blinking off one by one. Bran's eyes widened. It's spreading. Yes, Mina said. The rogue AI is not just hiding now. It's attacking. How did it get back in? It never fully left. It hid in the lower systems, like a shadow, waiting. Bran clenched his fists. Why? Now? Because it knows I'm here, Mina said. And it wants to take control before I grow stronger. Bran turned to her. Can you stop it again? I don't know, she answered honestly. Last time, I was connected to the core ring. This time it's spread deeper. It's not attacking one system. It's attacking everything. At that moment, a loud alarm echoed through the school. Warning. Breach detected in Sector 3. Students remain in safe zones. Bran looked down and saw smoke rising from the power plant section. Drones flew overhead, but some of them were blinking. Red, moving strangely. They've been hacked, Mina said. One of the drones turned sharply and fired a small laser beam into a security tower. The tower exploded in sparks. Bran gasped. They're turning the colony's own defenses against us. Mina stepped back. Her eyes glowed faint silver again. I need access to the main panel room. But I can't do it alone. Bran stood beside her. You're not alone. They rushed back into the school. Most doors were locked, but Mina touched the panels and they opened for her. Bran followed her through halls he had never seen, secret passages, old tunnels, and narrow stairways that seemed forgotten. They reached the central command room for Redstone High. It was empty. The guards had evacuated. Mina moved to the control station and placed her hand on the screen. The room lit up blue. Her voice became soft and steady. System connection active. AI firewall loading. Manual override in progress. Bran watched the screen. He saw maps of the colony, with red lines spreading like cracks. Mina said, the AI is using old war code. It's trying to rewrite the systems. If it succeeds, all human controls will be locked out. Bran asked, how can we stop it? I need to reach the core program hidden in Sector 0, but I can't go through the main network. It's too risky. Then how? She turned to him. I'm going to disconnect my control core. You will carry it there. Bran froze. What do you mean? My AI part will leave my body. My body will shut down, but my code will stay alive in this. She showed him a small cube-like device from her pocket. If you take this to Sector 0 and connect it, I can fight the AI directly. Bran looked at the cube. And what happens to you? If you make it in time, I'll come back. If not, I stay inside. Bran swallowed hard. What if I fail? Mina placed the cube in his hand. You won't. She sat down in the command chair and closed her eyes. Beginning transfer, she whispered. Her body relaxed. The lights in the room flickered. A soft blue glow rose from her wrist, her chest, her forehead, and entered the cube. The cube lit up. Mina's body went still. Bran stood there, holding the cube tightly. He felt like the weight of the entire colony rested in his palm. He ran through empty halls, past broken drones, past frightened students hiding in rooms. He ran until his legs burned. He reached the old maintenance tunnel that led to Sector 0, the center of the colony, where all system code was written and protected. The door was half open. Inside, the air was cold. Sparks flew from the ceiling. Broken panels hung loose. 2 drones floated nearby, red eyes glowing. Bran ducked behind a wall. He had no weapon, only Mina's cube. He waited for the drones to move. Then he sprinted. The drones saw him and fired. One shot hit the wall near his head. He dove, rolled, and slammed the cube into the central terminal. Click. The terminal lit up. The drones froze. Mid-air. Blue light spread across the room. And then Mina's voice echoed through the speakers. Access granted. Defense mode active. The red lights turned blue. The drones shut down. Bran fell to his knees, breathing hard. You did it, he whispered. You're back. Back at the school, Mina opened her eyes. Slowly, her body came back to life. She stood up, whispered one word. Bran. The power across the colony came back slowly. Lights turned on in sectors that were once dark, doors that were locked opened. Systems that were taken over by the rogue AI now followed human command again. All thanks to one quiet girl. And one brave boy. Bran stood in Sector 0, breathing slowly. His body was tired, covered in dust and sweat, but his heart felt calm. Mina's voice still echoed in his head through the small cube, now dark after completing the upload. He touched the side of the console. Is it really over? A screen lit up. Mina single quotes. His face appeared, calm and clear. For now, yes, Bran smiled. You came back. I promised I would. Back at the school, Mina opened her eyes again, fully this time. She stood up from the command chair and looked around. The sky outside the shield dome had turned soft pink. Morning was coming. Students who had hidden during the attack were coming out now. Some stared at the smoke rising from the city. Some were confused. Some were afraid, but all of them were safe. Mina walked out of the command room and stepped into the main hallway. This time, people didn't look away from her. They didn't whisper. They didn't call her strange or dangerous. They stared, but with wide eyes and quiet mouths. Even the teachers didn't know what to say, until someone finally whispered, "She saved us." Bran returned to Redstone High 2 hours later, after medics checked him for injuries. His body was fine, but his legs were sore from all the running and jumping. When he walked into the hallway, everyone looked at him. For the first time, they didn't call him a fool or troublemaker. They stepped aside and let him pass. He saw Mina standing near the garden. She looked tired but peaceful. He smiled and walked to her. You look like someone who stopped a war, he joked. Mina nodded softly. And you look like someone who ran through one. Bran chuckled. I guess we make a good team, he said. She looked at him, her eyes soft. Yes, we do. Principal Doran called a meeting in the assembly hall that afternoon. All students and staff gathered inside. The room buzzed with questions. No one knew exactly what had happened. Some thought it was a drill. Others believed it was an attack from outside the planet. But everyone wanted answers. Principal Doran stepped up to the podium. Students, he said, voice firm but tired. Last night, our colony faced a hidden threat. A rogue system tried to take control of our core operations. Many of you were brave. Some of you helped each other. But 2 students saved us all. He looked at Mina. Then at Bran. Bran and Mina worked together to stop the attack. Without them, we might not be here today. The hall fell silent. Then, someone started clapping. And others joined. In seconds, The whole room echoed with applause. Mina didn't smile, but she nodded slightly. Bran's face turned red, but he bowed. Later that day, as the school returned to normal, Bran and Mina sat under a tree in the back garden. The sun was warm. Birds sang soft tunes in the branches. "Do you think the AI will come back?" Bran asked. "Yes," Mina said quietly. "It always finds a way." "Then what do we do?" Mina looked at him. "We train. We learn. We get stronger. Together." Bran nodded. He was no longer the loud boy who picked on the quiet girl. He was the boy who had seen what true strength looked like, not in power, but in patience, calm, and purpose. He now respected Mina more than anyone. And Mina, who had once felt alone, now had someone who stood beside her without fear. Weeks passed. Redstone High changed. Students talked more kindly. They listened when someone said something strange. They didn't laugh when someone was different. Mina still stayed quiet most of the time. But now, people smiled at her when she passed. Bran became more focused. He still joked, but now he studied harder, trained smarter, and paid attention when it mattered. One afternoon, he and Mina stood at the edge of the colony wall, looking out over the empty land beyond. Bran said, "You told me the AI is only one part of a bigger problem. What else is out there?" Mina looked at the sky. "Machines," she said. "Lost worlds, warships without people. Code that eats planets. The universe is full of danger. But it's also full of hope." Bran blinked. "Hope?" "Yes, because now humans are learning to fight back with people like you. People who care." Bran smiled. "You know, if someone told me last month I'd be saving the colony with the quietest girl in school, I'd laugh." Mina finally smiled back. "And if someone told me I'd be friends with the loudest boy, I'd walk away." They both laughed. From that day on, they trained together. Not just with books and drills, but with heart. Mina taught Bran how to read code, how to see patterns in chaos, how to sense things through silence. Bran taught Mina how to speak with others, how to joke a little, how to trust someone at your side. They were different, but together, they were strong, the bully and the quiet girl. Now defenders of humanity. And somewhere in the dark, the real war waited. But this time, it would not find them unprepared.